Hello, my name is Jack Descartes. Welcome to Sentinel Circle. I am honored to have you here today. Please, if you like my content, like and subscribe. Comment below, send me an email, and share this video if you feel that these videos help you or someone else in any other way. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. So, this topic, I'm just going to ramble. If you're not into that, sorry. We have other content. You're more than welcome to peruse that, but this one's, I don't want to say near and dear to my heart. It's more, I feel this affects men more than they realize, and if left unchecked, you can wind up in a serious legal situation if you're not careful. And today's topic is basically about men being seen as creepy or stalkerish or whatever. And the reason for that is I remembered a story from when I was in high school. I had just moved to a new high school for my senior year. I didn't know anybody. And for like the first couple months before I attached myself to a group, I would walk around the school. You know, something to do during lunch. I didn't leave campus. I didn't have money to leave campus, so I would just stay around school, but I'd walk around, you know. And there was this girl who rode my bus. She was in the same grade as me. My school was divided into smaller schools. So, and they were based on like what you wanted to do once you graduated. Like, I'm not going to go too far into it because I'm worried that it will dox me, and so I won't do that. But anyways, there was a couple smaller schools in my high school. Even though we rode the same bus together, we didn't go to the same school. But I'd walk around the school, and I'd see her a lot. And not really thinking about it, but I knew her from the bus, and I'd wave, say hello, all that stuff. She was not, in my view, attractive. You know, I have a particular standard, and she did not meet that standard. I don't like to describe it like that, but I don't know how to be more sensitive to that. But she was, her BMI was a little hit on the bigger side, and in general, I just was not attracted to her. She also had a boyfriend too, which, you know, that's fine. Anyways, so this went on for a couple months. I never thought too much about it. And then one day we were riding home on the bus. She pointed at me and said, "Hey everyone, there's my stalker." And at the time, I didn't think much about it. Looking back at it now, it really upsets me. And I know at the time, she was joking. But I found out later, you know, once she warmed up to me a little bit more, apparently she thought I was stalking her for the first couple months that I was going to the school. And she was terrified of me. I didn't know any of this. Okay, she told me this later. And like, it got to the point where she was asking her boyfriend to come and kick my rear. And her boyfriend was the one who talked her down. And looking back at it now, after going through what I went through, an accusation like that, in my view, is just as bad as false essay accusations. False grape, not the R word, but grape accusations. And I know I'm not the only one that has gone through this. Where you could be doing something completely innocent. You know, you're not there to deal with, you know, a woman, whatever. But you're just there enjoying life, you know, getting to know the surroundings. And what I've learned is all it takes is one accusation. One. To completely turn your life upside down. How is that right? How is that fair? You know, for me, I lost a year of my life because of one accusation. A year. And I consider myself fortunate. I had evidence to prove my end of the story. But again, not a lot of men are that lucky. And again, at the time, I didn't realize how serious it was. I don't think she realized how serious it was either, but you know, we laughed about it, we joked about it, and we actually I don't want to say we became like friends or anything. We just hung out. We were a group that hung out on the bus on our way home. You know, I'm sure anybody who rode a school bus had like a group of kids that they would hang out on the bus. You weren't really friends, but you know, that's just what you did. You were part of the cool or part of the crowd on the bus that, you know, you talked to each other and all that stuff. But what would have happened had her boyfriend not talked her down? Would he have kicked my rear? For what? Because I'm walking around the school? And that's why I'm bringing this topic up, is because like it's more serious than we realize. A lot of us were like, oh, whatever, they're just random accusations. But accusations is what can lead us into a jail cell. Accusations is what can destroy everything we work so hard to build, to achieve. Accusations can completely destroy our lives. And it happens every single day. We saw with the Duke lacrosse players. That's probably the most famous case that I know of off the top of my head. The woman lied. Like, it wasn't even like, oh, she didn't have enough. No, she legitimately lied about it. And Rolling Stone magazine encouraged that lie. And those men who had a promising lacrosse career ahead of them, they were going to go do great things. Their names are stained, whether they want it, like it or not. I mean, even the fact that the accusation has been completely trashed, has, you know, it's been proven false. It doesn't matter. You know, they still have to talk about it to this day, more than likely. They're still going to have to justify it. And I hate to say it, but there are people out there who have it in their minds that a woman's accusation should be punishable. And that to me is probably the worst thing out of it, is even if the accusation is proven false, there are some people out there that will still take the woman's word. How horrible is that, my friends? How disgusting and degrading is that? I mean, could you imagine you're walking down the street, 1,000-yard stare, minding your own business, and then later on that night, a police officer shows up at your door and issues a restraining order, a court summons. You know, and now all your neighbors are looking at you and they're wondering what you did. You know? And then what happens if it progresses from there and you're handcuffed? You know, you miss a day of work, now your work is going to want to know. You're going to have to defend your reputation. And this is kind of my overarching theme in a lot of these videos is it doesn't matter if you play by the rules. It doesn't matter if you do the right thing every single day. All it takes is one vindictive person to destroy everything you worked hard for, and then what are you left with? You know, I know the Bible talks about turning the other cheek. Well, the problem is the Bible also talks about punishing those who deserve to be punished. I can't think of any examples off the top of my head. I apologize, and I may just as well be wrong, but in my view, if you do not put this person in their place immediately, they're going to continue. In fact, there was the one woman in England. She accused like 16 men of having their way over her. And the woman was massive. I remember that distinctly. She's like, 500 pounds at least. Huge woman. And like, I am looking at her and like, sure, that's disgusting. If someone's going to actually do that, pick a better target. But I digress. 16 lives she destroyed because of her false accusations. 16. Are those men going to get an apology? Are they going to get exonerated? Even if they did, what does it matter? Their names are in the papers. They're going to have to go to all the newspapers and say, hey, no, this was false. This was wrong. And even then, they get those articles down, but there's still screenshots. There's still all that stuff. I mean, there's like, what was the one website? Mugshots.com. And they post your mugshot, and then you had to pay them money to pull it down. And even then, they'd extort you. Someone goes Googling your name for a job, they see that, and it could be, charges were dropped. It doesn't matter. Your mugshot's there. I'm sorry. It's just this topic really, when it comes to false accusations of any kind, I get mad. Like really mad. I mean, me personally, I feel if you make an accusation, you better be 100% right. Because a false accusation is possibly the most damning thing that could ever befall upon someone. Even so much as being accused of being creepy or being stalkerish, pardon me. And like I said, at the time, I didn't think much of it, because that wasn't the first time I'd been called creepy or stalkerish, but like, I always minded my business. Always. But honestly, it doesn't matter. I mean, if you're doing something wrong, okay, yeah, then you deserve what you get. But when you're minding your own business and someone just decides that they don't like you and then accuses you of heinous things, and it's not the first time I've heard those accusations befall a man or even a boy, but I will say that, like, we're very quick to make judgments. Very quick. And we got to really stop that. We really have to. I mean, there's always two sides to a story. You know, but if you ever hear someone being accused of that, don't jump to that conclusion either. I mean, they could just be minding their own business. They could just be enjoying life, and they happen to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. That's not right. And that's not fair. You know, nobody should ever be punished for just enjoying a nice day. 25 minutes right now. Oh, pardon me. 15 minutes. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is, and like I said, afterwards, you know, it was kind of a joke. I get on the bus and she'd say, "Hey, it's my stalker." And I'd laugh and say, "Well, not much of a stalker if you know exactly where I am." Because in my view, a stalker is someone that hides in the bush and, you know, can't see what they're doing. And then another story that just came into my mind. When I was defending myself from the stalking protective order against my ex, I remember sitting in the courtroom, and it was a civil matter, so everybody there is dealing with some version of it. There was and this is what I think of when I think of stalker, but I watched this happen in the galley. There was 3 people. You had a man, a woman, and a daughter, a little girl. The woman and the little girl, they were sitting by themselves, and this man, he was disheveled. I don't want to say like gross. I never understood this about, maybe it's because the lower class just doesn't know, but like, I saw a lot of people wearing hats and flannel and jeans to court. And if you ever go to court, which I hope you never do, but if you ever do, wear a freaking suit. Because the judge will judge you based on your looks. They're not supposed to, but they do. Okay? And if you wear a suit in a courtroom, it shows that you're at least respectful of the court. Whether or not you are respectful, that's a completely different matter. But it's, you know, looks are 9/10 of the law. You know, you get caught with something stolen in your hands, even if you didn't steal it, well, unfortunately, you're going to be accused of theft because you had the thing in your hand. But he showed up with a trucker's hat and flannel jeans and like tennis shoes. But he had a red rose, and I remember this red rose distinctly. And they're sitting next to me, the girl and the mom. I guess I don't know what the story was. But they're sitting right next to me, and the guy comes in. He sits next to him. And he's trying his hardest to talk to the woman. And finally, the woman grabs the daughter. And the guy's trying to give the rose to the daughter specifically. And they move to the other side of the courtroom. And the guy just kind of sat there, shook his head, set the rose down, and he left. And when their case was called, obviously, you know, she got up, said that she was here, and he wasn't there. So, you know, the judge kind of was like, okay, we'll try and contact him and get him in here. That was such a profound experience, because I could tell that that dude was just not 100% there. And like I said, I understand there are some real dangerous people out there. I'm not going to sit there and say there aren't. There are. But the point is if you are accused of that, just know that, you know, a lot of us probably have been accused. Like I said, I've been accused of it, you know, and it's scary, you know. And now post my court incident, I got accused of it once at work. And I mean, I had a reaction to it that was not good. And what I mean by not good is, like, I got completely paranoid. Like, I got home that night, I locked the doors, and I mean, the entire night I was looking out my window waiting for the cops to show up. You know, I mean, I was like panicked. And to this day, I see a police officer on the road, and I get a very physical reaction. You know, I got pulled over once, and it's funny, the cop wasn't even pulling me over. He was pulling the person behind me over, but because I can't see out the back of window of my van, I thought I was getting pulled over, and I was panicked. You know, my hands were on that steering wheel so tight, like I was bleeding when I got home. My hands were coated in blood from gripping on so much, and I think I broke like 3 nails from gripping so hard. And it's funny because that same officer that pulled me over, he actually helped me when my van was crippled on the side of the road. And I had a very similar reaction when he came and helped me out too. I calmed down while we were interacting, but I still had that same reaction. I recognized him too. Anyways, so what I'm trying to say, my friends, my brothers, is you aren't alone in it. If you are accused, for one, don't panic, but always be on your guard. And the best thing to do is, there's a couple steps, and this is just, again, my personal opinions. One is don't ever be in a room alone with a woman, ever. Always have, at minimum, a second man with you, and specifically a man, not just another person, but a man. 2 is, if you can, always record your interactions, be phone calls, personal interactions, even if it's just an audio recording. I know, you know, when it comes to legality, you know, there are certain states where you can't record without a person's consent. I would rather you get in trouble and get a ticket for recording someone without their consent versus getting a restraining order or a stalking order. Simply because, you know, a ticket's a ticket. You can easily get that removed from your record. Whereas those orders, you have to go through some serious hoops, and it seriously impacts your life. And even then, you can take all the precautions in the world. Sometimes it just won't be enough. You know, sometimes it'll be you know, someone doesn't like you in school and they don't interact with you at all and they just accuse you and destroy your entire life. You know? And the other thing I would tell you is if you hear a woman give an accusation like that, don't instantly take her side. I know for some reason it's psychological. We're very quick to take a woman's side in a situation like that. And I don't understand why. I will be the first to admit that even I jump to those conclusions from time to time, but I immediately stop myself and I say, wait a second. Wait. Let's think this through, you know? So always take a moment. If you hear an accusation, don't get involved. Okay? Just don't do it. Take a moment, think about it, you know, and I hate to say this, but odds are she's actually probably exaggerating, if not straight up lying. Okay? You keep all that stuff in mind and you'll get through it. I promise you. Okay? Anyways, I've been babbling on for long enough, so I'm going to end the video here. Actually, I'll give one more point. If you are accused of that, I would strongly encourage you to not say a damn word. Okay? And if you are accused of it, specifically in a place like a job, I would immediately start looking for other work or get out of that situation by any means necessary. Because once that accusation is thrown at you, even if you did nothing wrong, you're going to be known as the office creep. Okay? So just don't put yourself in that situation. If you hear even the hint of a rumor like that, start planning your exit. And I mean it, because your freedom could be on the line. And I know that may be an extreme reaction to something that small, but trust me on this. Trust me. As someone who lived it, trust me. It can and will destroy your life. And the more of a life you have, the more you're going to lose. Don't let yourself become a victim. Don't let yourself become a statistic. I mean it. You're always going to have a home here. We can talk about it. We can come up with strategies to help you break it. We'll do everything we can to help each other out. I promise you that. And I promise you because I didn't have that. And I want to give that to you. Anyways, my name is Jack Ducard. This is Sentinel Circle. Please, if you like my content, I'm strongly encouraging you, like, subscribe, comment your stories, email me with your stories if you have one. You know, let's get these messages out there. And if you feel these videos help someone, anyone, share it with them. Bring them in. I'm not going to sit there and say it's your duty. You do whatever you feel you need to, but you know, we can't just do it for ourselves anymore. We have to look beyond the individual. You know, community is what matters more than any individual. Because the community can help the individual, and the individual can help the community. Anyways, have a great day. I appreciate it. Bye.